Hello YouTube, this is Silent again. Alright, I just wanted to make this tutorial today on how to connect your stealth, how to update your stealth from your old version files, or unless you found some source files online, and I might go into how to update your MSP spoofing and explain how to update any game files that you have on your stealth. How to update that as well. 1 second here. Okay, so before we get into this, a few things here. The biggest reason I'm making this video, and probably I'd say arguably 90% of my videos online, is simply because a lot of the videos I find online on how to mod, hack, or whatever it is you're trying to do, they lack information. They don't give out information, or they're leaving something out that's critical, a piece of information, and you have to end up spending hours and hours and extra time to resolve that issue. So I'm trying to make this like a one-stop shop for everybody. I'm explaining. I mean, people that do this on a daily basis, I mean, they're pros and they know this stuff or whatever. I mean, they obviously don't even need to watch my YouTube videos like the one I'm making. The main reason I'm doing this is because it's for all the noobers out there, all the skids or whatever you want to call them. Skids, I heard about that word a couple weeks back. That one's new to me. I've been in the gaming computer world for almost like 15 years now, or hell, even longer, probably longer than that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Never heard that one before. I just entered the modding scene about 6 months ago, so that's probably why I haven't heard of it. All right, so a few things that you'll need to update that dash and be able to connect to Xbox Live. First off, you're gonna need the full version of Xbox Neighborhood. Now, all the videos I saw online, not a single one of them actually mention this, but you actually also need Visual Studio 2020 Ultimate download. You'll need to download that and install it on your computer. Otherwise, you won't be able to install the full version of Xbox Neighborhood. Why none of them said that, I don't know. And all the forums I looked up, none of them said that either. Anyway, if you try to, just a few side notes on this, if you try to download any other Visual Studio, it won't work. Xbox reason being is because Xbox Neighborhood is designed to operate, was built for Studio 2010, and Microsoft, for whatever reason, never updated it. And that Xbox Neighborhood, for those of you that are new, don't really know, is the actual, basically the development kit to code Xbox files. Alright, and the second thing you're going to need is obviously source files. I might provide them in the link below, and working ones I found online. You can get those and do whatever you want with it. Or unless you have your own, the more the better. And then the last important critical thing that I had to dig around to find the answer for online, because it's not, for whatever reason, again, it's not at the surface. I'm just trying to patch loopholes here. Is you need updated bin hash files in order to update your source code, source files to the latest dash. So you're going to need challenge response bin, HV bin, and Xampp patch bin, which I will actually provide a folder that I found online. This kind gentleman put it out there for everybody, and in a form I had to dig through, and it basically explains to you what you need to do in order to update your hash files. So just to get you started, I'm not going to go into this in depth because it does get lengthy. Just open up the main tutorial here and start on question 1 and work your way through it. And then once you have all 3 files, once you're done with this and you have all 3 files, you're going to take those 3 files you updated and you're going to put it in your source files in the bin category. You're going to put it where in your listener. So your source files that's using listener, you can put it in your listener bin, and it's gonna you're gonna put it where you actually load up your listener. See, like right here, it can't. Yeah, it can't load because I don't have an SQL here. But yeah, you put it in here. Mine is set up a lot different than most source files because this one I found just has a lot more stuff, and it's a really strong source, I think, in my opinion, strongest I've found so far. But you put it in here and you put it with the rest of your you're gonna replace your challenge bin, your HV bin, and your Xampp patch bin, the old ones. Make sure that they're updated. As you can see, I have it right there. Okay, and then once you do that, you're gonna load up your your source files. Let's see here, go back here. Just show this for people that actually don't know how to do it. You're gonna find something in your client, or it's gonna, these folders, all of them are named differently, but you're gonna try to find something where you're gonna try to find something in your source files where for your client, which would be the actual XEX file that you're gonna make. You're gonna find something called with the extension at the end of it, SLN. When you find that, you're going to open it up, and this is what it'll look like. And you'll also want to open up your listener SLN as well. I actually don't know what that stands for. I'm still getting used to all these names, but go ahead and load that up too. So what we're actually gonna do is I'm going to update the source files, the hash code for the source files for the what's it called? I'm drawing a blank. But for when you're trying to connect to when it's trying to connect to your client, it's got to have the proper codes. If it doesn't, it's not going to work. It's just you're basically going to stay on boot up menu. So but yeah, you're gonna load this up. Would be my this is the listener here. This is where you do all this is where you build the SQL file. That's basically what the listener is. It's just SQL. But the most important step is going to be updating your code or your hash numbers on your excuse me. You're going to update your hash code on your client, your client VS, your Visual Studio. Now, again, these are all labeled differently, but what you really want to know, first off, Control F is going to be your friend to finding what you need and finding the lines of code that you need to update. And anytime you use any kind of scripting anywhere, whether it's Java, Visual Basic, C++, or C++ or whatever, you're gonna need or Python. You're gonna need you're gonna want to use Control F. It's just actually pretty much any application has a lot of stuff to search through. So I actually found it here, and I found it in hooks, and it's usually going to be in hooks. I recommend that either looking in your source file, either looking in something where it says like networking or hooks. Usually it's around hooks. All right, so I found it here, and what you're gonna look, what you want to find is you want to find something that looks like that's similar to this. It's this line of code right here. Patch and jump dword, and then this is the hash that we're actually updating, and then Xampp loader executable sync challenge hook. Okay, this is I think this is pretty much universal. I've worked through several different source files already, and from every one of them I can tell so far, this is universal coding. So for all the noobs out there, I mean, this is what you want to look for, and what you want to replace is this. Now I'm going to provide the scripting in the how to update every dash file here. And so I'm going to pull that up here, show you where it's at. I basically highlighted this and did a Control F and went through every file, or just searched all the files in Visual Studio and found it. And when I found this, then yeah, that's what I knew that was what I needed. So what you want to, don't worry about any of this. That's gobbledygook. So for the noobs, so what you want is you're gonna want to replace it with this code. No, I don't think you can use that. You might be. No, yeah, I think that's the old one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the old one. But you're gonna want to replace it with this right here. You're gonna put it in here like I have. Control paste. You can call us copy pasters if you want, pros. I don't care. Go ahead. It's fine. My feelings won't be hurt. But yeah, you're gonna want to put it in there. Control paste, and then once you do that, you're all done. All right, and then you're going. I mean, after you do that, save it. Go press Control S like this. Control S, saved. Okay, and then the next thing after you find this line of code here and update it, you're gonna want to fill out your information. Oh, I forgot to mention, before you can actually get online to host all this, you're gonna need a virtual private server, and the one that I recommend is NFO, which is NFO service. This cost me like $18 a month. It was like well worth it. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, there's other details I need to add in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and log in here and show you a couple things. Okay, so when you set this up on, I really prefer these guys, but when you set this up, you want to set it up into a certain operating system, is what I found that was recommended online. You can possibly use others, you might have to do some research, but what I set mine up to was Windows Server 2012 revision 2. That is what you're gonna need. Now the RAMs and whatever, I would strongly recommend not to get the bare minimum, but just enough so you can operate this. I wonder if I have. I can't remember. See, the problem is I can't remember what exactly I got for as far as RAM. Yeah, that's what I'm using. That you can all these details here. This is what I got. So was it 12,000? Yeah, 12,000 gigabytes of bandwidth. That was 200 gigabytes of hard drive size, memory size, 2048. Yeah, see, I've got a lot of people. I've got at least 20 people, and I'm also loading a ton of bots on the server as well, and it's still running fast. It's still running super fast. So yeah, that's what I recommend. That's what I got for like 18 bucks. I think it's very worth it. So yeah, if you get that, those are the settings I recommend. Okay, so enough rambling. Moving on. Back to my client. So you're gonna want to find where you're gonna actually enter your IP at. So now my IP is right here. Now sometimes some of the source files I've seen online, they are Xor'd. You're gonna have to research a little bit to. I finally was able to get that worked. Actually, you know what? Just for you guys, I'll include a script along with the rest of the files that you can use to run and figure out an Xor'd code if you need it. And Xor'd, what I'm talking about, just in case you don't understand what I'm saying, this loads. Xor'd. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It's cryptography. Cryptography is basically what it is. It's that for the noobs out there. It's that Fibonacci sequence kind of lingo. You know, you're basically what that's doing is it's encoding your IP address. So anytime it's like gives you basically protection. So anytime some hacker wants to hack your server for whatever reason, it makes it harder, extra layer of protection for you. It makes it harder for them to do that. Or if they want to try to denial of service, it makes it harder for them to get your IP address. Okay, yeah. Once you if you run into that, once you figure that out and you fill that out, that you can set it up that way. Just to show you, even right here as an example, this is salt key. This is the actually like the start, the critical part, and every source file I've seen has had this salt key like this, and this value. It starts at 7, and then it basically counts itself. What it's counting to, I don't know. I don't know the math that well. I've taken statistics, and I'm really good at statistics. I've actually struggled with this, but yeah. And this exalt key, this is how it communicates with Xbox Live when it emulates the 360, and I'm sorry for jumping around here. I'm just trying to be comprehensive about all this, include as much information as I can to better educate everybody. Again, to cover the loopholes. So that salt key, when it locks, it's going to lock in while your server is running, and your server is going to emulate a 360, and it's going to communicate with the Xbox server, and this is basically the code that they use, the Xor'd code, to communicate with each other. I don't know if it's always been like this. I'm assuming it has been, because some of the sources I've seen are like 3 or 4 years old that are out there, and they're from old updated dashes, and it's still the same. So Xbox has not changed it. So all right. Anyway, once you update your IP, you're gonna find what you're looking for in your IP is you're gonna find something that says this. This is XTL server IP. I'm not sure what that acronym means, but this right here, this line of code is pretty much almost universal among all of the source files I've seen so far. Same with the port. The port is the second piece of information that you're going to want to enter. Now, another thing that that they forgot to mention on a lot of the video tutorials or the forums online is the port. You want the port between 2000 all the way up to like I want to say 9200 maybe. It might go higher than that. It might go higher than that, but I haven't seen 9116 is the highest I've seen or heard about so far. So and then this actually works. So I'm tested it and I'm online right now actually. So yeah, once you get your port updated, the next thing that you're gonna want to do is if you want, I don't because I'm not really that fancy. Sorry, that's Xbox. My controller's jacked up. Oh my god, it's driving me nuts. Okay, next thing you're going to do is if you want, you can where is that? You can actually so like when you log in and you pull this up, you can actually edit the HUD, like what it says and stuff in here. And if you look through it enough, you can change it. So see, look at this. Like you can edit this right here. Xbox Apocalypse free mode active. I can edit that if I want, and I'll change what it says. I don't think a lot of this is for people that are. I'm only mentioning this because this is for people that are new and they don't know anything about it. What else you got here? Well, you just gotta look around, but just for the sake of time, I'm not gonna go into too much detail with that. The tutorials online actually do a pretty good job of explaining what you need to do to change all that. But I am going to mention though, it is important that when you go in and you edit some of the like the names, like your XEX that's loading from. Let's see if I can find an example here. HUD CPP. This is a lot. This is actually a really messy file where it defines it. It basically defines what each program is going to load up, and I wish I could find it. That's my hooks. Config. System. I'll be under system. Is it? No. I can't find it. Yeah, this one is really hard to. You kind of gotta look. But basically the when you load up your listener, basically what you can do is you can edit the edit these. Basically what it's trying to load. So if you want your client to, instead of saying Xbox Pal XEX, you can have it say, I don't know, silent XEX or silent server XEX, and you can edit each one of those. I kind of really don't recommend to do it, but by all means, go ahead if you want. Basically, what I do is after I build the solution script is I just rename this. But if you want, you can do that. Now, once you enter your IP and your port number, you're gonna want to go over here, and I actually don't no, I'd have to look through this to find my port number, but you wanna find the like the config file on here, or the or just search for the port number on your listener, and you want to make sure that it matches uh, your client. Otherwise, if it doesn't, it's not going to be able to communicate with each other. It's not going to be able to talk to each other. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to go into was how to update old games, old like the MSP code. Now I don't know the hashes for the games I got here, or actually a lot of them, but if you go online, you can find them and basically updating them. So the MSP for this, I'm gonna have to find that here. Do not remember where it's at. I put that. I had that. Did update the MSP though. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Man, this is a lot of files, to be honest. No, that's not what I want to do. I really want to show you guys this, so you can update yours to the correct. Actually, you know what? I want to just, okay, maybe this is it. Let's try this. I think this is the file. MSP, no, it's not. I've got all the time in the world, so MSP spoof. There we go. We can find. Okay, here it is. All right, so these are each these are more code. These are like the hash. These are basically hash codes, and they communicate with each other. And for, I think that's the same. No, that was be the games. But this is what you want to look for in order to update any the offsets, not the offsets, but update the hashes in order for your game or whatever you're trying to offer on your clients. Yeah, here's more. Yeah, right here. This is for I don't know what that is for, but this would be for something. Ghost normal. Yeah. Ghost bypass. Okay, Call of Duty. Looks like this is for Call of Duty. Okay, this is the Ghost bypassed. See, if it's out of date, you're gonna want to update your hashes. And again, you gotta find a similar script and basically copy them and make sure that each one matches. Otherwise, if you don't, it's not gonna work. But the MSP, fortunately for me, I actually have that. I found it, and I'm going to show you the updated. Oh, I just lost it. Okay, there we go. The updated hashes for that. So these were outdated, and I actually updated these. I updated each one of these, so now it actually works on my server. And so basically, again, what a lot of these online tutorials and YouTube videos and forums always fail to mention is usually typically fail to mention on when you're updating your server is how to update these. They talk about, oh, you need to update your hash files, or I'm sorry, your hash code, or if you don't know how to do it, don't bother asking, or whatever. Well, I'm actually going to tell you how you actually do it and show you where you actually have to do it. And again, these codes, the way the script is built and set up, it's pretty universal. It's pretty much the same. Like, it's just, I mean, they might the wording might be organized differently. The script might be organized differently, but it's pretty much the same. It's built off the same shell of source code. I mean, people obviously added and made more code to it, but when you get down to it, it's always the same code. It was built off the same shell. That's why they actually call it in coding a skeleton. Uh, yeah, skeleton. What's it called? Source code skeleton or something like that, or skeleton code or something like that. But yeah, and you build it. But anyway, you find these, and this, again for the noobs, you find these and you update them. And I actually, well, you can if you just all you have to do is just write these down, find your MSP spoof, and then update all 4 of these. Don't change anything, just update these. After you do that, control save, and then you should be done. And then what you want to do after you're all set and ready is you just want to right click and build solution. I'm not going to build it because I've already done it. And then when it gets all the way to the bottom and it says completed, no, it has to say succeeded, 3 succeeded. That's what you want to say. If it says anything says fail or you get any errors, something's wrong. Something is wrong in there, and you can either reach out to me and I'll research it for you and try to figure out how to update it for you, or if you want, you you can use the source code that I provide, which I think I'm going to, since it's updated, and it should succeed. Otherwise, again, if it fails, yeah, if it fails, actually, you wouldn't even be able to open this without the full version of Xbox. Where's that? Okay, Xbox. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to open it up if you don't have the full version of Xbox Neighborhood. So, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to you won't even be able to launch any of this. What was the next thing I wanted to mention? Okay, oh yeah, after you run that, then you want to run this, and then what you want to do is you want to go back here. You want to click on this and open in file folder, and you're going to want to find your XEX, and I'm pretty sure mine's in here. It has to be. Yeah, it's in here. What I typically look for when I look through the files is I look to see what's updated. See, this is 8/20/28. Yeah, that's me. I updated that like 2 days ago. So click on it, and I just kind of click on date modify. This is how I like to view. This is how I navigate through stuff easier. And this is not actually it, but yeah, see this is a lot of crap, a lot of stuff. This isn't actually it. This is yeah, that's not what I'm actually looking for. That's not it either. Yeah, you kind of gotta just look around for a while till you find it. And okay, there it is. See, that's what I'm looking for right there. Yeah, that other one, I don't. That must be another XEX for something else. I don't. It's if it is, it's something beyond me. Okay, so what you want is you want your Xbox Pal. Right click, copy it, and you're gonna go once you build your program for your listener. Gonna right click again, click on it, right click, open up, and then you're gonna go open up your bin file, and then you're gonna want to open that up, and then you're gonna paste it. I would paste it in here because most of the servers I've seen don't have these extra folders. This is scripted to have these extra folders, so it's just how it's set up. And for this one, you'd actually put it in here. See, they got all these other XEXs for assortment of other things. You got XEX cheat as well. You can script to get those to talk to each other, but the base of it, like the gist, like the basics of it is you want it to be in the same file folder as your hash files. So that way because most of these source files, they're scripted to read each one of those. And then let me put it in here for good measure. All right, put it in there like that. Okay, and then what you're gonna want to do, okay, just so I'm not forgetting, I do want to mention that the HUD colors, design, and everything, that is technically, first off, that's a separate tutorial. That would be like a separate tutorial than this. That you are not actually, for the new people, that you are not actually, see, again, another thing that they failed to mention, a lot of the tutorials online, is that the Xnotify is your actual HUD. That's the HUD itself, and the source code, the code that you're building here, it all it does is it programs the XEX to launch from that, to launch the notify, and it builds it corresponds and correlates and communicates with a notify, and when you're actually launching your listener. So like for example, if you actually go into your bin, and not this one, client, you'll see that there's a notify in here, and so when you launch your listener, and when I log in, the listener, the program is actually designed to read the notify. So everything, the notify is actually the HUD. The notify is actually created from a separate program. It's separate. So don't confuse the two. Just don't think you can go into the source code and change the color of your HUD. You can't do it that way. That's a separate tutorial. There's some good ones out. There's some good tutorials out there explaining how to edit your HUD. I might post a link to that under the descriptions. But again, don't confuse the two. I just want to get that out there because when I first tried this, it confused the heck out of me. I didn't quite understand all that worked, and nobody mentioned that. So honestly, if I wanted to, instead of using this notify, this HUD for this, I could actually use, if it's created correctly, a different notify if I wanted to make the HUD design. That's if I wanted to do that. And I know it works because I tested it myself. I promise you it works. Alright, so now that we have that, you're going to want your SQL file, and the SQL file comes with all of these source files. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them comes with it. If you don't have it, I might provide you my panel, because that was a pain to find, but I might provide it for you in the files. All right, so so once you got your SQL file, which I've got mine here, you're gonna take your SQL file, your bin, your listener, and all your XEX and all these files. You're gonna copy and paste, and then you're gonna want to connect to your VPS server. There's a multitude of methods to do this. This is the simplest thing ever, but I just connect through my Microsoft's universal VPS server. So I'll just launch it here. Sorry, not the VPS server, the remote desktop connection program. So you just enter it. You're gonna have to, when you connect, it's gonna ask you for your username and password. You're just gonna want to enter both of those. Hang on a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and connect. And what I typically do is I just make a folder and then name it the server I want. and then so like this one, I got a bunch of servers here I've tried. I've been practicing, getting used to it or whatever, just because I'm getting really addicted. All right, just open it up, and I just saved it in here. Okay, so see, I've already got a couple running, so I'm just gonna show you that it works. If you get an error, again, you can let me know in the comments. I'll try to help you out the best I can. What you're gonna want to run before you run your server, though, by the way, you're gonna want to install Xampp. I'll go ahead and actually add it to the text here. Got for need to install Xampp in order. Yeah, just as a reminder, in order to run stealth server, you need to install Xampp. And then, so basically what Xampp does is it is the, like, let's just think of it as like the host of the host. So the Xampp is hosting your MySQL files server, and then what that does is that MySQL, it communicates with the listener. They communicate with each other, they connect, and then you're online. And what the listener is for is like an output window for you to see who's connected and what's going on and stuff. So once you have that installed, you can get Navicat if you want. I don't recommend it. You pretty much need the panel. So once you have Xampp installed, you're gonna want to I gotta find it here because I want to show you what you're supposed to do here. Xampp control panel. You're gonna wanna start both of these up. If you don't have this started, you're a listener programming server. It won't connect. It won't because it's not on. Mainly, that's why it won't work. So you want to have these both on. And then once you have those both on, you're gonna want to go to localhost php myadmin, and then what you want to do is you're gonna click new, and then now this next part's really important too. You're gonna name the database, and you're gonna want to name it to the name of the SQL server that the SQL that you're loading. To load up, and if you don't, it's just gonna give you an error. It's not gonna go anywhere. So like for example, punknown, that is the name of this server right here. Again, if you want to edit that, you can. You have to go in the script, the coding, and Control F, find it and edit it. But that is the name of this server. So they connect and work. All right, so those are the last two important things. Okay, and then after you've made the name, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna go, once you click on it, you're gonna go over here to import, and then import the file. Choose your file, import the SQL file, leave that as SQL, and then hit go, and it will add it all to the database like it has here. And then you've got clients, tokens, failed, settings, tokens, users. And the users you're actually going to have to add yourself before you can actually access access the your control panel, your stuff panel. And to do that, I usually just typically use Navicat right off the bat. And the Navicat you can find for free online. Navicat, file, new connection, MySQL, and then you just enter the name of the SQL, which would be the SQL that you just made. So if it's p unknown, you're going to enter p unknown here, and it will add to your system here. Now again, this is if you're going to install Navicat, it's pretty simple. Just install it. Okay, and then you're going to want to find your database, and you can go to users, and you can enter in your information. So I mean, if you guys want to, if anybody wants to try online and try to hack into my panel with this, good luck, because I don't have this loaded, and that password won't work. I promise you. So you're just going to enter your ID and username you want, if you're using Navicat, which I recommend when you first do this. And then what you're going to do for the password, because it reads it in hash, and hashing again, it's basically like XOR. It's another level of coding, it's another level of security. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go another window, go to Google, because they're your friend, and just enter MD5. And then you're going to go to MD5 hash generator, enter a name, let's say silent, and it gives you the hash. You're going to take this, copy it, and I'm going to paste it into here. Paste it into there. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do, once your listener is on, after that, and your database is created, is you're going to want to actually add the panel. So where you go to do that is you're actually going to go to your Xampp folder, which mine I'm going to find here. It's right here. You're going to go to Xampp folder, and you're going to go to HTT docs. Now let me. Now most of these source files, they come with their own panel. So again, I'm gonna provide one for you for free that I know works. I know it works pretty well. Let's go to this one. No, that's not it. Okay, let's just look at this. Maybe. Okay. All right. So get your panel. You have all these files. Once you open up your panel, you're gonna basically copy and paste all these files into here. And then I think this is something different. Yeah, this is completely something different that I've got here set up. So, but once you load up your panel, what you're gonna do is type in localhost, and it's gonna load it up for you. See, this one is actually loading up a website. I didn't make this, somebody else did, but I still here because I haven't updated it, I haven't changed it. But it's gonna load up your panel, and you're just gonna enter your username and password, and add your console. Unless you have it in free mode, you shouldn't have to do that. But you log in, and you can edit a variety of things depending on what kind of panel you have or how it's built. Alright, so after going through that, once you add yourself onto your Xbox 360 and your server is listening and it's up and running, next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually connect to Xbox Live. Set for plugin 2. Set notify if you want for plugin 3. See, and not a lot of tutorials or people online actually explain that in their tutorials. To actually set for plugin 3 the notify, and what the notify is gonna do is it can act as your HUD replacement. Now just a note, not all these source files are scripted the same, so some of them might come with a config file, an ini file, and you have to go in there and you actually have to turn it off. If it doesn't, and typically if it doesn't, all that means is if you set your plugin 3 on your dash launch as notify, whatever notify you're using, it will automatically, this script, the XEX will automatically allow it to override the HUD, and it will load up with the custom HUD that you want loaded. Otherwise, if it doesn't do that, and there is no ini files, that means that it's scripted and coded it's coded to overwrite the xnotify file. But anyway, if you don't want your own custom notify, that's fine. You can just use whatever's loaded with the XEX stealth server. All right, so once you got it listening, go ahead and connect. And then, well, first off, what's going to happen is when you connect, is it's going to explain this. It's going to, your Xbox is going to shut off. Typically what happens is it's going to shut off, and make sure you've got an unbanned KV. Actually, you know what? What I usually first do when I first starting to load to connect to a new server is actually I use a banned KV. So I load up a banned KV first, and then after it's loaded, I connect to my server. And then the way that I know that I connect to my server is, well, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. When you first connect to your server, your Xbox is the XEXs are designed to restart. So your XEX is going to the program is going to restart automatically, because it's resetting your MAC address. It's resetting your hash files, your hashing as well, and it's going to reset it, and then it's going to attempt to connect to your server. So okay, then once you're connected to your server, the way you know is that you get past the logo menu. If you don't get past the logo menu, there's something wrong. And what I typically do is most of these, you could probably find this in the scripting in most of these source files, and turn on a debug log is what they call it. And most of these source files, they already come with one. They already come with it programmed, so you don't need to worry about it. So you open it up. This will open. Maybe. I think I got the right one. Console settings. No, it's. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't have the right one. All right. I'm gonna connect real quick here. Yeah, I'm just trying to be as thorough as I can, so. Finish. Alright. Log in. Here. And these are going to save on the root of your hard drive, the root of your HDD drive. See how these here, base log, debug log, end log. So you just copy and just paste it to your computer, and then basically what it does is it logs the connection of the XEX. So if it fails, you can refer back to this to figure out what happened. See, net error connect, and there should be a socket too usually. If you see net error, okay, net connect socket error, or connect error, or initialized error, or something, that means that basically you have the wrong socket. You have the wrong IP address or something. That means that your XEX is not communicating or connecting to your stealth server. But once you are connected to your stealth server, after that, once I confirm that I'm able to connect, what I do is after that, what I do is I go ahead and add an actual unbanned KV on there and shut it off, restart it, and load it back up and connect. And if it doesn't connect, again, it's gonna go to the log file. And if you have any problems with that, go ahead and comment below and let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. All right, and then just to show that I am connected, as you can see here. See, I am connected. Let's go ahead and go over to just test it out. I should have an unbanned KV, I think. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, see it's connecting. I'm going to... I don't think I've accessed my server. No, I don't. Well, let's just watch and see if it works. And voila, I'm connected. Updated. That is how you update your old server, your old source files, and connect to the computer. I'm sorry, connect to the Xbox Live. And I'll go back and I will just actually have to. I don't actually have my MSP Spoofing working. I mean, I don't actually have a account on. Hang on a minute. Okay, are we still on here? Let's just double check, make sure the sound is still working. Okay, yes. Alright, so it should be alright, yeah, there we go. Find 2 profiles. Alright, I'm going to just connect to this real quick. Let's sign in here. Go ahead and try to enter my password. I'll have it changed by the time you are watching this. Remember? Alright, now we're in. Now, to test it, to show you that the updated hash codes that I use actually works for the MSP, I am just going to show you this. I am all over the place tonight. Let's just do BioShock. Alright. Alright, and then purchase. Voila! Hash codes work. See? $1,337. It's what Xbox thinks I have. And now I'm downloading BioShock. Also, another note too that a lot of tutorials, a lot of people fail to mention is when you're doing MSP downloading, you to get away from the errors, you just want to leave this downloading. You try not, for whatever reason, Xbox 360 when it downloads stuff, it just it's always been slow, always been slow. So try to make sure you're not connected to the internet too much. But see, it's downloading now. I'm gonna cancel that because I don't want to show that I'm Yeah, I don't actually need it. Alright, so yeah, see, that actually works. And the again, if you're going to update games, you got to find the proper hash codes if they need updated. Alright, and you can search online for those, or you can ask me and I'll try to hunt them down for you. Alright, enough of that. Go ahead and exit out of here. Alright, so I know I've been dragging on and on and on, but I promise I'm about done. I just wanted to share all this with you today, and just to get that out there of all the things that are missing, and we need to update your stealth server, your MSP spoofing, and your games that you're doing off hosting, or you're loading mod menus or whatever from your stealth server. How to do that, and what is all needed, and I'm just trying to fill in any loopholes that you might have questions on, or nobody will tell you. Another issue I find from a lot of people is they're always asking for the more black hat programs, the leaks, the codes, and everything that you typically have problems with. And two of my favorite places to go to, well, recently, is Demon Forums. They have, if you go to their Xbox modding section, they have a lot of nice leaks and hacks and files and spoofers and mod menus, and heck, they even give you the skeletons, the skeleton codes, where you can just take the code, compile it or decompile it or whatever, and it's not decompile, but compile it and build your own mod menus or mods from scratch, or hacks. Another favorite place of mine for more conventional hacks, the rooted stuff, is hacksforums.net. That is, to me, arguably, this is probably one of the best forums online to find black hat items, like the best. Beyond this, you're gonna want to go to like the dark web, the dark internet, to find the more deeper rooted stuff. But as far as stuff as that actually on the surface, this is definitely one of them. Another favorite place of mine would be D3C. Now, I'm going to be honest to any of the noobs out there that aren't familiar with these forums and stuff. What I like to call the trigger warning generation, the millennials or whatever. Okay, this isn't Facebook. A lot of these guys, to be honest, they're dickheads. I mean, they're really great for giving out all this stuff, but they are just jerks. And if you ask what to them is a stupid question, okay, expect them not to actually give you an answer. First off, they probably won't even give you an answer. You'll probably get like 3 or 4 of them that will actually kind of just call you names or make fun of you, or a lot of them will just tell you to stop doing what you're doing, which honestly makes no sense to me. Because why have a forum like this? Why have tutorials, and why have explanations on how to do stuff, but complain about it? I mean, I don't get that. Why criticize the newcomers? Why criticize the newbies? I thought the whole point of a forum was to build a community, was to attract new people, to attract new coders, to get people to work together, not separately. As the old saying goes, you pro modders out there, okay, be part of the solution, not part of the problem, right? Also, remember that you actually started out as a noob coder yourself in the beginning. Don't forget your roots, please. A lot of people, they in life, they get into something, they get good at it, and they get so good at it, they become they're the prime textbook definition of arrogant. That is prime textbook definition of arrogance. But again, I understand it. It sounds like my opinion, but that's actual fact. That is how human beings are. And if you want to argue with me about it, I'd be more than happy to in a private conversation. I do have a background in psychology, and if I know anything, I know I sound arrogant here, but if I know anybody, I definitely know human beings. And when we become pros at something, we become arrogant. And that arrogance is built on confidence. But anyway, those are just some of the forums that I uh, recommend to any of the newbies or newcomers or whatever out there to check out and find the more deep rooted back in uh, malware and fun stuff, the cool toys, I like to call them, toys to find. So hack forums, these guys I find to be a little bit nicer. So if you just go on here and you just request stuff or ask what to do, they typically will help you out. But anyway, I'm gonna try to share as much files as I can. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. All right, and again, I'm not really too big about rating or if you like it or dislike it. The whole point of me making these videos is I think I'm gonna support our videos to back up what's missing out there, so it can help people out. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give back to the community. So all right, comment and let me know what you think or what you want me to do next or differently. Oh, by the way, also please check out my free stealth servers. I will also post links to those as well. They're free and you don't need to pay for them. I plan on having those up for a while, but yeah, feel free to check them out. Thanks.